Hi, and welcome to another Knowify tutorial. This one's going to focus on the reorganization of our project management and contract management sections into one overall combined dashboard that's going to make your life much easier as you try to manage your individual job. So we're going to go into our contract jobs. You'll see, as usual, we can see the table with an overview of the performance of each of my outstanding jobs. And we're going to add a new one. In this case, for Lapidus General Contracting, we'll do the tutorial job. As in most cases, we encourage you to set the client address. This can either be manually entered or set to the client's actual record address in the client section. This is going to enable Knowify's GPS-enabled smartphone features to work well, and we'll also obviously put a pin on the map showing you where that site is. So now we're in actually the job management dashboard. I can see on the status page some high-level analytics, where it is, what's going on in terms of revenue and cost performance. Since this job is brand new, there's obviously none of that stuff to report. Now we're going to click into Plan and Track up here in the Job Nav, and we're going to enable job costing and tracking. This is a very important feature set in Knowify. This is how you use Knowify to estimate jobs out in advance. So I'm going to add a milestone here. You can think of milestones as being phases of a job, and then we can even break down milestones further into actual labor tasks. Materials budgets are set at the milestone level. Actual labor can be added either to the overall milestone or broken down, as I mentioned before, into tasks. So the first one, we're going to imagine this is a plumbing job. I'm going to have a piece that's called a rough-in, and this is going to take first week of the job. I can either itemize the budget by clicking on this little book, in which case I would be able to look through my catalog for any materials that are in my catalog, and can be very quickly and easily added to my project plan according to my price list. And obviously, I can also add manual items here that I might not have in my catalog, but which I would wish to include. So, for example, maybe excavator rental, which might cost $1,250 a day, and I need 3 days of that. So you can see that this is now rolling up into a materials budget up here. As I said before, I could always have just entered this as a lump sum item. And now here I'm going to have a basic excavation task, which is only going to last for this Friday. I'm going to add people to this, so I'll have my project manager oversee it for a couple hours, and then I'll have my foreman be on the site all day, along with a couple of the tradesmen to manage the actual work. What we recommend you do when you're actually using this tool in the real world is open up another tab in your web browser with your resource scheduler, so you can make sure that you're not double booking, triple booking guys, and obviously have good control over those things. So now I've completed a project plan. It's a very simple one, but you can see that I have an overall milestone here for the rough-in with a couple of tasks, the excavation, the installation, hookup. I have first floor bathroom installation milestone, to which I've just added people directly. Now, what I want to say is that you can actually build all the Gantt dependencies that you expect in project management software directly in Knowify. So I can click on these little links. I can say, all right, yes, the rough-in must be finished for the first floor bathroom installation to begin. I can do it within my actual task, so I can make the installation hookup dependent on the excavation being done. And the value of this is that as these tasks are completed, the downstream teams will be alerted. So that as excavation is completed, my installation hookup team, to the extent that these could be different crews, will be totally on the same page, because the installation hookup crew will receive a notification saying that this is done, and that they should check in with their project manager to find out about next steps. Now let's leave this in inactive mode. You can see that actually the value of this overall is that we've been able to now produce a budget for the project. Based on our project plan, this is going to cost me $18,000 roughly in labor, just shy of $9,000 in materials, for a total of just almost exactly $27,000 in terms of cost to me. So I can now go and bid this out. I'm going to go to Add Service Agreement. We support several different contract types. I encourage you to go through the Knowify tutorial on the contract types to discover what each one of these does. But what I'm going to do is going to do this owner contract, which is fixed line items, billed percent of completion, and I'm going to use my project plan milestones as a way to pre-populate my bid form. So you can see I'm going to have the plumbing rough-in. The software is going to tell me that this is going to cost me $10,420. So I'm going to bid this for $16,000. And the first floor bathroom installation is going to cost me $16,600. So I'll bid this out for $22,500. I could put in whole long descriptions of what these entail if I wish for that to print on my bid forms. I can also say to whose attention I wish to address this, maybe an estimator, put in my own contract number, an estimated start date and end date. as well as any deposit I might wish to collect. So I'm going to ask for a $5,000 deposit. Obviously, these inputs are going to vary depending upon the sort of contract you're trying to build within the system. I can also mark what's taxable and what's not, and then come down here, enter my terms and conditions. We could send this out for signature, but again, that will be covered perhaps in greater depth in a tutorial focusing on the contract side. So now we're just going to make this active. This is going to force the job to go live. In cases where you do all your contract negotiation outside of Knowify, you would use make active as a way to push the job live without using Knowify e-signature. So now that you can see that this job is active, I can go into my project plan. This has also been made active by the fact that the job is now live. I can do project management tasks as I feel I need to, so I can open up my milestones and say this is now active and we can start work on this. But the important thing is that actually outside in Knowify, now that the project plan is active, I'm going to be able to go and put in time against these things. So we have our classic time cards. Knowify will have automatically pushed all of those milestones and tasks to the resource schedule, to my construction schedule, so I can see in there what my project timelines are. And it will also, because the foreman's view of the timekeeper pulls from the construction schedule, it will allow me to use foreman view to enter time. So we can do this tutorial job, rough and excavation. I can punch in time for these people. This is available also in the Knowify mobile app, but we're going to make it very easy for you to keep time based on your schedules, and then to actually see progress against your labor budgets as you go. We're going to come back to that in a second after I make a quick purchase. So I'm going to go into purchasing. We're going to make a PO from ABC Supply Corp for the excavator rental, which is, we said $12.50 a day for 3 days. And then I'm just going to allocate it to the job by clicking for client, Lapis General Contracting, for job, and then I'm going to find the tutorial job down here and then submit it. As we've covered in other tutorials, POs can be sent through the system, which is a great convenience feature. But back inside contract jobs, when I come down here and click on the tutorial job and go back to my plan and track tab, you'll see that within my project plan, I've now started to see the things I've been purchasing, like the excavator rental in PO 38, and the time I've been putting in reflected in real time within my project plan. So I know how I'm performing against my budgets. I know where I stand on my project. I can tell that this is getting a little tight on the budget, but I do seem to be in line with what I was expecting. So maybe I don't have to worry too much. So it's obviously great data. It's great information to have at your fingertips to know how you're performing at any given point in time. I can see the upcoming things that are scheduled. So I have a lot of control over what's going on. If I ever need to go back to the contract and create a change order, I just click on contract and change orders in the job nav, come down here, click this add change order button, punch in whatever the change order is, so maybe change 1, put in a price, $2,000, and then use Knowify's e-signature as a way to send this out for acceptance by the client. We will then automatically make that change order available for billing on the invoicing side of Knowify. That ability to make your whole construction management process completely paperless is obviously going to save you a lot of time and a lot of effort and reconciliation when ultimately it comes time for billing and for finding out how you did on your jobs. It's a wonderful feature, a great way to really streamline your business. Now note that we also have documents that come up here. You can upload as many files as you'd like, and you'll have them here now as part of your permanent Knowify record for this job. We also have an activity log, which will show things like the invoices you've cut. This is the particular one for the deposit that's due according to our contract, any bills that we've processed against this job, any purchases, and any materials allocations out of catalog. You can think of this as stuff coming out of inventory. But you'll see this is one great place you can come to really get down into the weeds and understand how your jobs are performing, see what's going on, make the changes you have to, and really have total control over your business. So thank you very much for joining me for this demo. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you need any additional assistance or if we can answer any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Support@knowify.com or 212-233-3230. Thank you very much.